You are on a ridge in the Maine North Woods. It is the second week of November, an hour before legal light, and there are 2 inches of fresh snow on the ground that were not there when you went to sleep. The cold has a taste to it. Spruce, wet bark, the flat iron smell of more weather coming. You step off the old logging road, and that is when you see it. A single track pressed clean into the snow, the edges still sharp, a small crumb of dark earth kicked up behind the toe. A whitetail walked here, maybe 10 minutes ago, and the man standing next to you, an old tracker, frost in his beard, rifle slung like it grew there, looks at that one print for about 3 seconds. Then he tells you it is a buck, that he is heavy, that he's walking toward his bed, not away from it, and that he passed through here before you finished your coffee. No camera told him that. No phone buzzed in his pocket. He read it off the ground, the way men in these woods have read it for 200 years. Here's the number that should stop you cold. There's a man alive right now who has taken more than 100 mature whitetail bucks, many of them over 200 pounds. And in the Maine big woods, 200 pounds is the line that separates a good deer from a legend. He did almost all of it the same way, alone, on foot, following tracks in the snow. No trail camera, no cellular feed pinging his phone, no collar, no app, no subscription. 100 bucks, 0 batteries. And when you understand how a man does that, you're going to understand exactly why this skill is disappearing, and who is making money off the fact that you never learned it. The first time I watched it done, I did not believe what I was seeing. I had driven most of a day to a piece of hard country in Somerset County, Maine, to meet an old guide named Royce. Quiet man, hands like cordwood, a wool coat older than I was. He had been tracking deer in these mountains since before I was born, and when I showed up, he was not impressed by much. It had snowed overnight, 2, maybe 3 inches. We were on the trail by gray light, and within 20 minutes, Royce stopped at a set of prints crossing a frozen seep. He crouched, didn't touch them, just looked. "Buck," he said. "Good one. Came through maybe an hour ago. He knows something's off. See how he's quartering into the wind?" I saw 4 marks in the snow. He saw a paragraph. We followed that deer for the better part of 4 hours. Up a ridge, down through a cedar swamp, across a brook on ice that groaned under our boots. Royce never hurried. He'd take 10 steps and stop. Look, listen, read. He told me the deer had paused to browse, then spooked at something, then settled back down. He told me when we were getting close, the prints turned sharper, the kicked snow still loose, and then, in a stand of young spruce, he put his hand flat against my chest, stopped me cold. 30 yards ahead, bedded against a deadfall with his back to his own trail, was the buck, exactly where Royce said he would be. I asked him how long it takes to learn to read sign like that. He didn't even look up. "A season to start," he said, "a lifetime to finish." That sentence has stuck with me ever since, because here is what almost nobody under the age of 50 understands anymore. What Royce did is not a trick. It is the original American hunting skill, and it has a documented bloodline. In 1974, a Vermont woodsman named Larry Benoit published a book called How to Bag the Biggest Buck of Your Life. It was not fancy. It was a working man laying out in plain language how he tracked enormous bucks through the snow of the northern big woods on foot. That book defined a whole generation of deer hunters. Benoit became famous for snow tracking giant Maine bucks that other men couldn't get within a mile of. When he died in 2013, a Boone and Crockett measurer, an old friend named Ron Boucher, told the New York Times that Benoit was, for hunters, something close to Babe Ruth. Think about that. A hunter so good with nothing but his eyes and his legs that the paper of record reached for Babe Ruth to explain him. The man who picked up that torch is named Hal Blood, 62 years old, out of Jackman, Maine, Marine Corps veteran, former lobsterman, master Maine guide. He started hunting with his father at 10, and he has taken north of 100 mature bucks, most of them over 200 pounds, tracking them solo through the snow. In November of 2025, Outdoor Life ran a long piece on him and called him the last of his kind. The last of his kind. Read that again. Not the best of a thriving tradition. The last. So here's the question that matters. How does a skill that produced legends, a skill that needs no money, no power, no permission, end up on the edge of extinction in a single generation? It did not die because it stopped working. It is working right now this morning for the handful of men who still know it. It is disappearing because somebody found a way to sell you a replacement. Around the early 2000s, the trail camera arrived in deer country and it changed everything. Strap a motion camera to a tree, walk away, come back later, see what crossed in front of it. Useful tool. But then came the cellular trail camera, the kind that sends the photos straight to your phone the moment a deer steps in front of the lens. You don't even have to set foot in the woods to know what's in them. Look at how fast that took over. In 2020, cellular models were about 22% of all trail cameras shipped. By 2024, they were 42%, nearly doubled in 4 years. Total trail camera shipments jumped from around 6 million units in 2020 to over 9 million by 2023. In North America, driven almost entirely by American hunters, is the single biggest market on Earth for these things. Here's the part nobody says out loud. The camera was never the real product. The real product is the subscription. A cellular camera doesn't just cost you $100 to $400 up front. It costs you a monthly fee to send those pictures to your phone. $5, $10, $15 a month per camera. The average serious hunter runs 3, 6, a dozen of them. Run that math across a season, run it across a hunting lifetime. Not because tracking failed, because a recurring monthly charge is a far better business than a skill a man can learn for free and own forever. And here's the part that should keep you up at night. An entire generation of hunters has now learned to hunt with the camera as their baseline. They have never read the ground. They have never had to. So the morning the battery dies, or the cell signal drops out in a hollow, or they walk onto new land with no cameras hung, they are blind. Truly blind. They cannot tell you if a buck or a doe walked that trail, which way it went, or whether it passed an hour ago or 3 days back. Royce reads all of that in 30 seconds. In country he has never set foot in, with nothing in his pockets but a knife and a tape measure. One of those men can hunt anywhere on Earth. The other can only hunt where his cameras are hung, and only as long as the subscription is paid. That is not a tool replacing a skill. That is a skill being quietly switched off. They didn't take the skill from you. They just made sure nobody handed it down. Stay with me, because in the next part, I'm going to hand it back. There are exactly 5 things an old tracker reads in the dirt, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Let me give you back what the camera quietly took. An old tracker is not doing magic out there. He is reading 5 specific things off the ground. In order, faster than you can tie your boot. 5 reads. That is the entire art. And every one of them is something you can start learning this weekend, in any soft dirt, in any state, for nothing. The first read is direction. A whitetail track is shaped like a heart. 2 halves, narrow and pointed at one end, rounded at the other. The point always faces the way the deer was going. Always. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but most new hunters genuinely cannot tell you which way a track is headed. And if you don't know that, you don't know anything else. Point forward. That is your compass. The second read is size and sex. Is this a buck worth following, or a doe just passing through? Here's where it gets interesting. On a mature buck, 4.5 years or older, the dew claws, those 2 small points behind the main hoof, register wider than the hoof tips themselves and print outside the main track. A buck's front hooves are also noticeably bigger than his back ones, often by more than 1/4 inch, because he carries all that heavy neck and chest weight up front, especially during the rut. On a doe or a young deer, front and back come out about the same size. And here is the tell. The old men trust most. Width over length. Hoof tips wear blunt with age, so a track that runs consistently over 3.5 inches wide, punched deep into the ground, is very likely a heavy, mature buck. Not the length, the width. The third read is speed, and it tells you the deer's mood. When a deer walks calm, feeding or just patrolling, the prints sit close together and the back feet land almost on top of where the front feet were. When it picks up to a trot, the tracks spread out and you see clear daylight between front and rear. And when a deer is running, flat out spooked, the tracks are flung far apart, the dew claws stab deep, and you'll see dirt or snow thrown backward behind every step. Read the spacing, and you know whether the animal's relaxed or whether something already bumped him. The fourth read is the one that separates a man following a ghost from a man closing on a deer. It is the age of the track. A fresh print, under 6 hours old, holds moisture, with sharp, clean edges and loose crumbs of dirt sitting on top. By half a day it is drying, and the edges start to soften. By a full day it is bone dry, the edges rounded off, the kicked dirt cemented back down into the ground. In snow it is even clearer. Soft, clean edges mean fresh, hard, crystallized, refrozen edges mean old. Here's the field rule the trackers live by. A track under 3 hours old means slow down, go quiet, he is close. A track over a day old isn't a hunt, that is just scouting. The fifth read is the deepest one. It is intention. A deer laying down a straight line of even, purposeful steps is traveling with a destination, usually between his bed and his food, on a route you can predict. Tracks that wander and double back mean he is feeding, browsing, in no rush. But here is the rid that marks a truly cautious old buck. When the tracks lead directly into the wind, a mature buck moves into the breeze on purpose so his nose clears the ground ahead of him for danger. And when he turns into thick cover with the wind at his back, he is going to bed, choosing a spot where nothing can slip up from downwind without him smelling it first. He is running his own security system. And the branches snapped at chest height, the earth pawed into scrapes, the saplings rubbed raw along the way. Every one of those is another sentence in the same story. 5 reads. Direction, size, speed, age, intention. That is what Royce saw in 3 seconds that I couldn't see at all. Now, if you're sitting there thinking this only works on a mountain in Maine under a foot of snow, stay with me. Because what I'm about to show you works on any soft ground in any state this weekend. Start with 30 minutes, go to any edge where deer move, a field margin, a creek bank, a muddy logging 2-track, find soft ground, mud, sand, wet dirt, snow. Find one clean track. Is it heart-shaped? Which way does the point face? Pull out a tape, measure the width and the length, and take a photo. That is read 1 and read 2. Done. Next, give yourself an hour or two and follow a trail. Not one print, a sequence of them. Walk the direction the points face for a couple hundred yards. Are the steps even and purposeful or wandering? Measure the distance between prints to get a feel for the animal's size and pace. And ask the only question that matters: where is this trail going? Toward thick cover, where he beds, or out toward open feed? Then practice aging, because this is the read that only comes with reps. Find a fresh track in soft ground. Mark it with a piece of flagging tape. Come back at 6 hours, at 12, at a full day, and watch it fall apart. Do that 3 or 4 times, and something clicks. Your eye calibrates, and after that, you just know how old a track is without thinking about it. Your tools for all of this: your eyes, a cheap tape measure, and patience. Total cost? Nothing. And 3 mistakes to kill right now. The first, staring only at the ground. A real tracker reads the dirt and everything around it. The rubs on the trees, the branches snapped at chest height, the scrapes pawed into the soil. The second, and the one that ruins more hunts than any other, moving too fast. Trackers fail because they walk faster than they read, and the deer hears them coming long before they ever see him. Slow is the entire game. The third, ignoring the wind. The deer always knows where the wind is coming from. Follow him from downwind and he cannot smell you. Follow from upwind, and he knew you were there before you knew he existed. This skill did not vanish because it quit working. It vanished because a camera and a monthly bill are easier to sell than a season of learning to see. And the only reason you didn't grow up knowing it is that the men who could have taught you were told their knowledge was obsolete. Right about the time somebody figured out how to charge $15 a month for a photograph. If you are the kind of man who believes real outdoor knowledge has been quietly pushed aside to protect somebody else's profit, you already know what to do with this one. So tell me in the comments, who in your family was the last real tracker? The grandfather, the uncle, the old neighbor who could look at the ground and tell you what walked by and when? What is the one thing they could read that you wish you'd written down before they were gone? I read every comment on this channel. Next time, I'm opening another page in the vault. There is a way the old big woods hunters could tell from a single bed melted into the snow, not just how big the buck was, but whether he was still close enough to catch. Most hunters walk right past the most valuable sign in the woods. You won't, after I show you what it is telling you.